let me tell you just briefly what we're going to do on afternoon tea. I took just flat latex paint, black, and covered the canvas with that, and after about an hour that was dry enough to go ahead and draw on. It was drier sooner, but wait the hour. And then the little tracing, I laid a flat plate down and traced right around it. Get the book, and you will have this tracing in it. It'll be a great help. Let me show you just the simple palette, and we're going to go and show you how to use these colors. I have one color that is a mixture that I need to give you a formula for. Black, 2 parts yellow ochre, and 1 part phthalo blue. And then I have a couple colors that are just burnt umber and white. This one is 2 umber, 1 white. This one is equal umber and white. And then one other one, 2 yellow ochre and 1 deep orange. Okay, now this is so much fun. I took my niece recently, 13 years of age, had not painted before, and I talked her through this painting while I was sitting over doing another painting. Let's take a little yellow ochre, and this is how I told her how to do it. Pure yellow ochre, and we're going to put this on. Just swish it around, and you say, well, what are the boundaries? No boundaries on that, just the upper left-hand corner. I want some of the same color, and see how I fill it on with a bunny brush? Just push back and forth. See, that's kind of stiff paint, and that's what we can use in this technique because we have the clear over the whole canvas. The clear is over the whole canvas. You put it on, blend it around, and just make it so it's a little wet without being too runny. Okay, we'll use the same color. Let's come down across the apricots. Now look at this. When you say across the apricots, you're going right over them without staying in the boundaries. And let's hit over this one a little bit too. I can see the drawing a little bit. You'll want to save your drawing as you do this. I'll clean the bunny brush, and I'll use the same bunny brush. We'll come down and use burnt umber. This will be used with the bunny brush, and we're going to use it only to warm up the background area a little bit. So I push this around. This will go on both sides. I'll just take time to do the one side now. Clean the brush, and then we go on to our main objects. This painting, you might say, gee, it's complicated. It isn't when you do it step by step. Pure burnt sienna. Same bunny brush. We'll use the bunny brush throughout the beginning stages. This goes right on the pathway, the Indianapolis Speedway. Come right around there. We'll stay inside, being very careful that we do stay on the edge. See that there is a definite boundary for this. We'll come down further, but I wanted to save a little bit to the inside line too. That's why I went sort of casual like there to start with. As I come down with this color, I'll just thin it out a little bit and leave, you see a little line left there? That shows the difference between this edge and the inside edge. Okay, that's enough of that. And now the color I'm going to use, we'll change brushes. We'll come over with a flat badger brush, and we're coming down to the 2 orange and 1 ochre. We'll use this 2 places. One will be right against the tea kettle. And you know what is so effective? As you fill this in or on, the tea kettle will be in a silhouette, and oh gosh, it looks great. But we then go ahead and put color on. I will put this all around, carefully around this, and I'll do so a little later. But right now, I want to come out to the edges so you see what happens there. As you come out to the edge, I'll change brushes. More than likely, I should have a little of this paint on the brush, and I've already showed you the paint. So we'll just go down and quickly fill that up, and we'll come back. And as you get to this area where the 2 meet, zigzag. Zigzag the light into the dark and blend back and forth. That makes a very nice transition. Isn't that pretty? I really like that. Now I'll use the same color with the badger brush again, and we'll come down to each of the, what are these? Plums? Oh, they're beautiful little plums, aren't they? Apricots, that's what they are. I knew you knew that, but I just thought I'd give you a little test there. I'll fill all of these in the same way. Once I have those filled in, then I will come with the next color and I'll change brushes. This will come over yellow and white. This is equal parts of yellow and white. See how you fill that in? because I'm going to have it just tap off. This comes up and we come to this apricot. Tap it on, and what you're thinking of here is form. So what I mean by that is the light's coming from the left, strikes there, and you do a little blending so that you get the nice softness. I'll be doing this on each of the apricots. I'll go ahead and do one more, and that's this one, the neighbor. And then the next thing that we want to do is put some red on. And the thing about the red, it can go different places. It isn't just because the light is coming from this direction that it goes there and so on. So watch this with the Badger brush. We'll pick up here permanent red. And I'll be just making a little marks that kind of work into the color that we already have there. So we'll go ahead with this now. And on this one, the red is on this side. Isn't that pretty? I'll blend it just a little bit so that it has less sharpness. And then on the next one that we have, we're using the same color, but we'll come up here at this time. What I find very helpful when you're talking about a plate or anything round is where you are on the object. If you use the analogy of a clock, we'll say, for instance, and I'll use some of the color, the 2 ochre and 1 orange, and we'll come up and we'll say, all right, put this on at 2 o'clock. And also at 8 o'clock. So then you know what I'm talking about, don't you? And that'll be highlights that we'll put there. So here we put a little bit between 1 and 5, 10 and 2. And I want to tell you what I was doing while you were gone. Remember I said that I was going to bring that orangish tone right against the outline of the teapot. And doesn't that make that look dramatic? And so that's one thing I did. The other thing, I went ahead and finished the apricots as far as I'd gone with the first 2 that I showed you. I put a little red on them, add a little bit of highlight, and we're right back ready to go. Let me tell you something. As I use the next color, this is burnt umber and white, and this is going to go for in the window, up in the left. This is equal part white and burnt umber. And the bunny brush. We're going to make just very vertical strokes this way, and you get the feeling like some light is showing through there. What I wanted to tell you was, remember Picasso, he painted so many paintings. He got past the beginner stage early. And someone once asked him, with all the paintings around, how do you know which one is yours and which aren't? And he said, if I like it, I say it's mine. If I don't, I say it's a fake. We got a lot of paintings. You're going to have one more after you do this one, and you're going to have a good one. You're not going to have to call it a fake, right? Okay, let's go with the next color, and this will be my darker umber. This is the 2 umber and 1 white. Still with the bunny brush, and this is going to go just a little bit on the tabletop. You push this around, blend it over here. We're going to put other colors on the tabletop, but this will be some of the brown that'll show through. Notice when you come to the edge of the table that we're showing a change in direction because we have a drape that is falling off the table or sitting on the table. This is a classy afternoon tea. I want you to know that. We invite you to the best places. My place. Come over and hit the line. See, I have this drawn so I know where to go. All right, we put that around. You actually come a little bit closer to the apricots so that they have a feeling like they're setting down. And that's by bringing the light right up to them. There'll be a couple darks that'll go against them, but we'll wait for those. The next thing that I want to do, this is where it gets to be fun. I will take 2 parts black, 2 parts yellow ochre, 1 part blue, and that's added in with white. Now watch this color. Ooh, do I enjoy doing this? Of course you're going to watch it. This is just placement time. Place it on. I'll be dipping in and just running up quickly, so I don't expect you to follow the brush each time I'm down at the palette, okay? We did it the first time. A little bit here. Now what am I saying here? I am saying that the light is consistent in its direction, and that means I know where the light's going to go just by saying if the light came from this angle, that's where it would hit. So we'll go ahead and put these lights on. This would be the next one. Wham! A little bit over in the handle. Wham there and here. Let's come down to the palette. I'll take just a little bit. What color is this? This is ivory black. Just a slight bit of ivory black into that light color. And as I come up here, what I'm going to do is use this as a little bit of reflected light. So it isn't quite as light. And of course, these will receive highlights. Okay, now the thing that I was telling you about where my niece was painting this picture, I only touched her canvas one place to show her a technique. Now you watch this. This is almost like you're going to say, I'll wipe this. This is a dirty old teapot. Let's shine it up. You take a paper towel and you're kind of wiping. See what that does? It goes around, makes the blend. And wow, there comes out the genie. And the genie says, what do you want? My one son says, we're on an island. He says, I want to be back in New York with all riches and food and pretty girls. My other son, he wants about the same thing only in San Francisco. And I'm there left all alone and I have my wish. And the genie says, what do you want? And I say, oh, I wish my sons were back with me. And my wish was answered. Okay, we have a little bit more of this to do. Just the same thing going around each place. I will then take a bunny brush, and it's clean and dry, and just float across that. Now you can see I have not blended every place. The important thing, I think, is to show you several aspects of this. I will go ahead and blend this one a little bit. And then I put it on the next light. The next light steps it up just a little bit before we get the final wham on it. Let's go a little bit lighter, and we'll use yellow, ochre, and white with a mop brush. This will go on each highlight. I like to start in here because my center of interest is sort of there. Actually, the center of interest is the kettle against the background, but this is the center of interest on this. This is a brush that I've had a very long time. Well, not that long, but quite a long time. This color is yellow, ochre, and white. It will go in each spot. And then further blend that a little bit, and I'll go with a brush. We're not using the paper towel anymore. Just like that. That'll go on each of these. And you try to feel like you are touching the actual object as you do it. Touch right on and you feel your hand go around. That is such an important part on blending. Okay, let's go just quickly down to the tabletop. And I'm going to use the same color that we used on the metal, the 2 black, 2 ochre, and 1 blue. This is a bunny brush. And this will go on the tabletop. Put it on. You're going the same place that you put on the previous color, but you're letting some of the previous one show through, so you get feeling a little bit of shadows and a little bit of highlights. And this eventually will have a strong highlight on it. You put this on and then sort of flow. You notice how I'm letting it flow a little bit this way. It sweeps around and flows out. Let's go ahead and take the bunny brush, and I have some yellow ochre and white, and this is very small amount of yellow ochre, mostly white. We'll come up and put this on the table edge. Watch how I put this on. Tap. Tap gently so it doesn't mix in quite as much as if you were to brush it. We'll put some more on because this identifies the edge of the table before it drops over, or the edge of the table under the drapery. That's really what we're saying. Okay, and then after we have that on, we'll blend a little bit on the top edge to get rid of the sharpness, and then a little teeny bit pulling down the same direction. You just don't pull down quite as far as the previous lights, and the reason is the light doesn't show down there. It's hitting right at the top and it just melts down a little bit below. Okay, once we have that on, we can blend gently, ever so gently. That's whispered. That's hypnotized. All those words that you use, okay? All right, we'll stop that and we'll come back up to the teapot itself, and we're going to use a couple things on there. I have 2 brushes, and I'll load them both at the same time and take them up. Here comes one, the Twiggy, with a little bit of yellow ochre and white. And then I'm taking the Badger flat with phthalo blue and white. both on the pot. First the blue. Watch the little reflected light there. Colorful. Isn't that pretty? That goes so well with the complementary colors out there. And we put this on up here too, just a little bit like you're going on the surface of that area, which means it's sort of curved. So you repeat the surface underneath by touching the actual object. I had to yell a little bit at you because I felt maybe one of you over there were kind of dozing just a little bit. You get up close to that screen because I'm talking to you. Okay, we'll put a little bit up here, and let's put just a little bit on this edge. Now, let's see if I can move the hand so you can see that. Just a little line there. And then where I have the color of yellow, ochre, and white on that little liner brush, we'll put that right along thinly there. So you get the nice smooth edge. Now let me say that I could say, okay, that does it, but let's not call that enough. Let's come with a little black, and this is a round brush, round sable. We'll come up to the canvas, and we'll come from above. I'll try to do it so you can see. Let's see what's the best way. I'll come closely, push down, so I'm narrowing the line just a little bit. Oh, that's it. That's nice. You just evaporated it, Buck. Narrow the line a little bit. Same color. I'll just run down quickly, come right back up, and we put a little highlight on the edge there. We put a highlight there, there. The same place we had the previous lights. The one difference, I would say, is that now you leave them sort of unblended. See how you can just have those on? And there, and one in here, and one important one, right on this spot. I'm going to come with another light in just a minute, but let's go on further. We'll take the same color and come down to the apricots. A touch here, touch there. See, each of those further show that they're shiny and where the light's coming from. I do need to do one other thing down on the apricots, which is kind of fun because we have a little sharp brush here. Now watch what happens when you take and scratch. Isn't that a nice little stem? We'll put one over here. And just a little end piece here. On the far right one, I do need to come with some color. So this is the ochre and orange that we used previously on the middle of the plate. And this is a twiggy brush. And we'll make one here. And this bends towards the main objects. Okay, let's come down then. We'll change brushes. We'll come with, this is a flat sable. And I'm going to use a little bit of yellow, ochre, and white. This will also emphasize lights. And you're coming back into the 2 o'clock area and the 10 o'clock area. Boom, boom. Just like that. And another nice thing is if you take the same color, what color is that? Yellow, ochre, and white. And you're going to kind of bounce it around a little bit near the middle of the plate. And you bounce it, pat it, is another way of saying bounce, because you want to have a kind of a mottled look. That almost makes it look like copper, doesn't it? You could call this copper and silver. Sounds like a series on radio. Copper and silver. Hi-oh, silver. Okay, hi-oh, copper. All right, bounce that around, and you get the real nice broken feeling like light just hitting against that. I'm now going to take a little bit of magic white. Isn't this interesting? Often we start with the magic white. This time we're going to finish with the magic white. I'll dip in with a clean sable brush. Just get a little paint. You can almost have it just about drip slightly, and that's nice. This will be a little bit of final light, and we put this, boom, right there. Look at that. Look at the difference that that makes over the regular white. And a little bit along here, and a little bit there. We'll be a little selective on this. We need to have it on the top. There, bump, bump, all quite shiny. I see one thing that would help because we're kind of without a base. Let's take a little bit of the blue. This is a black color. Black and umber, we used this earlier as reflected light. We'll come up to the canvas right there. See, that gives us a little base on the bottom of the teapot. I almost forgot that. That would have been a little bit of a tragedy. Okay, I think that'll be pretty good. I'll go just do a little blending of the blue and push this around. And I think you'll find that that will refine it a little bit. The more it looks like metal, the better. Okay, let's go for the final little touches. I'll start with alizarin crimson and black, about equal parts. I'm brush mixing it, and I have a flat badger brush. We'll come up to the little picture here and put the darks right in there. See, you're going right across maybe something that was dark before, but this is even a richer dark. And we'll put one under the neck, and we need to have one that comes over on the, what do you call this? Spout. Of course it is. And then I will use a little bit of this just for an accent here and there underneath a couple of the apricots, and it sets them down just a little bit more, especially this one over there. I find one other thing up in the left window that I think we need to do, and that is very simply done, taking a paper towel and pulling down so you get a feel like one of the wood braces within. What do they call that? There's somebody, would you please write in and tell Buck what's going on? And when you do write in, tell me that you like the show. Tell me what you're getting out of the show, because I sure enjoy doing it. And I'm so thankful you're out there watching. This is a fun painting to do. And let me say this. If this one is your first attempt, you're going to have a great first attempt to show, aren't you? Okay, a little bit of blending around, just refining slightly. Now notice how I do that away from the darkest part, and you leave the darkest. You're just sort of hitting the edges a little bit. This one has finished up real well today, hasn't it? It's been a lot of fun doing it with you, and I'm sure that you're going to enjoy doing it on your own, especially if you take and follow the directions that we gave. Use that magic clear, and the paint flows on very easily. Okay, just a little bit more like that. I think we have just about what we want. I guess about the final thing that I like to do on a painting is take a bunny brush, and you notice that I'm, well, I don't know if you can see or not, but now you can see. I'm wiping it, making it very dry, and feather blend. Feather blend. Feather blend.